Hey look, the PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive, episode 173. Only 17 more episodes until episode 200. I am one of your hosts, of course, Ryan, as always. Joined, as always, by Matt. But also, we are joined by a very special guest. And you know what happens, Matt, when we have a special guest coming on in here? When we have a special guest, we clap and say your name. Bowser is here. Welcome on in, Bowser.
Glad to be here. More time with my friends.
Absolutely. Of course, we have to clap and say your name because that's an Extra Life inside joke that we do.
Is it inside? Because I feel like it's very outside now too.
I mean, people know about it now.
Everybody knows.
People know. Yes,
this is what we do.
For sure. I mean, we're going to talk about that Extra Life tonight, of course, because that's going to be on the docket of things to talk about. Because I think we all can. I can't speak for everyone. I had a good time. I think everyone else had a good time too. So we'll talk about that. But I before we do that, I'm hearing something over there, Matt. I'm hearing a knocking on the door. A rapping.
Who is it?
Housekeeping. So of course, we've got new content over on our Patreon, patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Of course, Sean's Pants episode is out. You can go listen to it. He talks about pants and also other things on that episode. I don't actually know what Sean talks about on that episode, but I'm just assuming he talks about pants. Also,
it was a good episode.
Yeah, I hear good things about that episode. Yep. Also, I believe Seth, the bearded one, will be up this week. So if you've got questions for Seth, the questions post will be up by the time you're listening to the audio of this, or if you're watching the live stream, it'll be out tomorrow. So make sure to check the Patreon for that. Also, we recorded a very special podcast while we were at Extra Life. Speaking of Extra Life, Campfire. We've got a new episode of Campfire coming out soon, but all of us were on that episode. We sat around a table. We had mics. I did my best to make the audio not sound terrible. Sorry in advance, folks, if it sounds really bad. I think it's gonna be. I think it was a really special episode for us to record. And I hope y'all really enjoy it. So that should be out on the Patreon soon. We don't have an exact date for that, but soon. That'll be out on the Patreon as well. And by the way, just wanted to give also a special shout out to every single person who supported us during Extra Life 2024 in Utica or Rome or wherever we want to say where we were. Yeah, is in New York. We were in New York. Of course, everyone who donated, everyone who came out to the event itself and came and said hello to us, everyone who just hung out in the chat and watched the live stream along with us. Y'all are all amazing, and we want to say a personal thank you, of course, from the PlayStation Drive to the entire Carpool Gaming community for coming and supporting us during Extra Life and for helping us raise a record amount of dollar dues, over $10,000 for the Story Children's Health Foundation. So shout out to everyone for your donations, for supporting us, for just coming out and saying hi and just being awesome. Shout out to y'all out there, listeners or viewers or whatever you want me to call you. Anyways, I'm just stammering at this point. Someone please save me because we're grabbing our 8 tracks, popping it in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games we played this week. Now, Fulia talking a whole bunch in the chat. Not here this evening, and neither is Ron, which means, Bowser, since you have taken Ron and Fulia's place this evening, and you are a special guest, you're then contractually required to take Ron's place in the order of which we do the playlist in, and you have to talk about the games you played first. So
these are some
Grail,
pretty big shoes to fill, replacing 2 people. I don't know if I can handle this much pressure, but I'll do my best. First game I played it's one that I played during Extra Life. So if you're watching the streams, you might have seen Seth and I playing a game called Micro Mages. Now, this started out as a new NES game, like recently, like this decade. They created this NES game. Morph Cat Games is the company that made it, and they just dropped it for PlayStation. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll give them some more money. I love their games. They're behind Bobble and Space Skulls. Space Skulls being one that I had a world record for a short period of time. So I'm your speedrunning queen, I guess.
Look at you. This is just Bowser over here just flexing your muscles.
Seriously.
Like, get on my level.
Yep. So I guess you could say I'm a fan, but Seth and I were having a great time playing it. It has a couch co-op, so it was a really good game to play during Extra Life.
Yeah. That's always such a cool thing too. I'm just going to butt in for a second there. I love seeing brand new NES games in the modern era. That's actually been happening a lot more recently, or a lot more of just because I think it's been happening for years, but I think more of just coming to prominence now, where we've got the Rugrats game that also came out this year that also was on the NES cartridge.
I forgot about that.
And there's a bunch of other stuff like Xeno Crisis, which is a game that came out forever ago. That's like almost like a Smash TV kind of game. They developed it for like every platform, including the NES and the Genesis and the Dreamcast and the GameCube and the N64 and also modern consoles. So yeah, I love when stuff like that happens as a big retro person myself.
Yeah. And I think maybe it helps that, like, in the age of the internet and streaming, these things can really pick up some steam. If you get the game in the right person's hands, get some eyes on it. And speedrunning, people love to break records. So when a new one pops up, they jump all over it. So, yeah.
Nice.
Good game. Next up, I will mention, I'm playing this on Xbox, but it is on PlayStation. It's called Hidden Paws Mystery. And this is like a hidden objects game. Like you're looking through the world and trying to find cats and balls of yarn and stuff like that. But it's cool because it is like a 3D thing. Like you're manipulating the camera in a 3D world. And sometimes you got to open up the basket to see if there's something in there. And yeah, pretty neat. Nice chill game. I like those kind to like wind down after work. I'll play something like that, do a level of that, and just kind of chill out a little bit. Very soothing.
Like a good podcast game.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. If you got a podcast backlog, pop on a hidden objects game and there you go. You're all set.
Yeah.
Sorry, so you control the camera, or like you control the environment, you said, right? To find stuff, not the actual character?
Right. There is no character. You're just like the camera pointing at things to find them.
Is it obtuse, like the puzzles, or is it pretty straightforward? Like, can someone stupid like me figure it out? Or do I need a guide?
It's not obtuse. Things are just hiding. But they're hiding in, like, things that are obvious. Like, there's chests and, little baskets around. But sometimes, because it is 3D, like, you have to zoom in and then go down, and it's, like, up under a bridge. There's a cat hiding. So...
Matt, sometimes you got to move your hands and, like, do things.
Yeah.
Not be lazy, and that's how you find things.
Kind of interested. I
think
I might check this one out.
You can't just stay in one spot all the time.
Fair enough.
And then lastly, another game I'm playing on Xbox, a former PlayStation exclusive, Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm popping achievements all over the place. It came out, Thursday, I want to say? That sounds right?
It was on Thursday,
yeah.
Or Thursday, I should mention.
Checking my playtime, I have 13 and a half hours.
Nice.
Wow.
I guess you could say I'm a fan. There's something very comforting about this game, and I think it is the perfect come down from Extra Life. Like being with all my friends, my heart was so full leaving the event, but then it broke into a million pieces, and I gave everybody a little piece of my heart when they left. And now this is just like, I don't know, sit and soak it in while you're walking around. There's some fantastic music. I'm connected in the world. Yeah, it's perfect for this time. I'm so glad that it dropped. It was $20. Perfect. Didn't even think about it. Click buy, started playing it immediately.
Nice. That must be like,
It's
honestly,
so
gotta
good.
be, it sounds like it's got to be like one of your favorite games ever, Basa.
Yeah, this is my fourth playthrough. So
Jesus. This
Holy
is your
moly.
Knights of the Old
You
Republic
really
for me,
like it, yeah.
essentially.
yeah, I have the platinum for the director's cut on PS5.
Let's go.
You going
Which
for
is
the
not
Fast and
easy.
Furious
Very
car
That's
then?
like 100-hour platinum.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll go for the 1,000, but maybe I'll just leave it on there and chip away at it.
Okay.
You get a bunch of the trophies or achievements just playing through, but there are some ones that are, it's a lot of work. You got to build up all the roads so you can do these hard deliveries. And
I was gonna say, I remember looking at the platinum and like some of them, like you have to travel really far, and I was like, that's a lot of building. It's not, it's like you said, it's not like something that you're gonna bang your head against the wall, but it takes time to actually you have to put the time into it. But at least it's not like, something that's skill based. Like you just have to really plan it out. So, but I'm glad you're playing it again. Like I really like that game so much. I'm pretty excited for Death Stranding 2. Like, and again, I remember I wasn't sure if I would like it just because, I mean, I liked Kojima games, but I was like, I don't know what this game is, and I shouldn't let the internet persuade me, but it did get to me in the beginning. I was like, what is this game? Is it just delivering boxes and stuff? But checked it out myself, and like you said, Bowser, it's such a chill, relaxing game, but it really does remind me. It gives me the same feelings as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like that exploration feeling of just figuring it out how to get from point A to point B. But it's just so gratifying, like when you figure out how to get from this destination to the other one. And I like that risk reward balance aspect in Death Stranding about like how much stuff do I want to take, because you don't want to make multiple trips, but as anybody who plays the game, you take too much stuff and you topple over, like you're gonna ruin your delivery. And then
you damage all the cargo and you get a bad grade. It feels bad.
It feels horrible. It's because you take so much time to plan it, and then it takes sometimes it takes like 15-20 minutes to actually get there. So yeah, I love it. You're making me really excited for the sequel. It's such a good game. I love it.
I can't wait.
Now, do y'all want to know a secret? I've never played this game ever.
Really?
It's been sitting on my PS5 or PS4 from the day it came out on PS4, and I've just never played it. I've just never sat down and been like, you know what? Tonight's the night I start Death Stranding. So, fun fact though, at Extra Life 2024, one of our stretch goals was if we raised enough money, my first 3 games of 2025 would be picked by a wheel. And one of the games on the list is Death Stranding, because I've never played it. Because I wanted to make a list of games, because there's 174 games on that wheel that I've either never played or I've played but just never really finished. So I wanted to make sure a bunch of new stuff was on there, and Death Stranding was one of them. So if Death Stranding gets picked on the wheel, I'll be playing it. We'll find out. But cool. That's a great list of games, Baza. First of all, I'm impressed that you played so much, even though we just came back from Extra Life. Even though I can't believe that Extra Life was a week ago. Now.
I know. Time doesn't make sense anymore.
Weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, Matt, regale me with a tale of what you played this week, my friend. Or I should address you by your official title, Elden, quote unquote, Lord, quote unquote. For audio listeners, that is what Matt's name tag reads tonight.
I mean, I did play Elden Ring. Does that not make me an Elden Lord? I'm not sure what the requirements are.
That makes you tarnished. Because you haven't beaten the game, so you're not the Elden Lord yet, okay?
Fair enough. Played Fall Guys at Extra Life, and it's been I haven't played it in quite a bit. I think since the game came out. But you know what? Fall Guys is such a accessible game. Like I kind of jumped right into it and it was fine. The only thing is that at Extra Life, I did play on my Switch in handheld mode, and that was a bit of an adjustment of all the frames that was lacking. So that was a bit of an adjustment, but had a great time. It was all fun to me. And then played Elden Ring for the very first time at Extra Life, and behind the scenes, like we were talking about this quite at length, and I was excited to do it with Fulia, and I asked Bowser, I'm like, I heard this multiplayer, let's do it together. And then Bowser kind of gave me the bad news, which is like, you can't do it locally though. You can only do it online. And I was like, okay, you know what? Plan B is we'll just do it old school style. Like, I'll play until I die, and then I'll pass the controller to Fulia until she plays and she dies. Then we'll go back and forth, just old school style. That was the plan. And I remember coming into Extra Life, and then Bowsette hands 2 controllers to me and Fulia. And I was like, I thought you said there's no local co-op. And she's like, no, you both can control the same character. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, accessibility features, like if a parent wants to play with their child. I was like, this is even better. 2 people controlling 1 character in Elden Ring. What could possibly go wrong? And friends, hopefully you were there for the stream. Otherwise, you can find it on the Carpool Gaming YouTube. And yeah, you can see how much fun we had. 2 people.
I'm going to use fun in quotations if you'll allow me.
I had fun, and hopefully people watching had fun. Fulia was screaming a lot.
I was
Hopefully,
getting
it was out
Fulia
of.
did not have fun.
She jump scared me quite a few times.
Yeah, same. Oh,
So yeah, we decided to divide it up in the best way that made the most sense, which is Fulia controls the character in terms of like the analog stick, and I was in charge of the buttons. So I was in charge of hitting and evading, and she was just doing, which way to go and the camera. So that was quite a bit of fun. But you know what? It's a beautiful game. It is a Souls game, so obviously we died quite a few times. But I enjoyed it for the most part. It's a beautiful place, and yeah, there were more jump scares than I realized, but I don't know if it's fully just scaring me. I don't know if
that's because you
Bowser-
had it like a 10-foot giant, like sneaking up on you like every 5 seconds, just appearing behind you, and Fulia just screaming, being like, "Oh my god, how did he get here? We're gonna die."
Is Elden Ring supposed to be spoopy? I didn't know if it was.
I mean,
It's supposed to be,
I think so, but it's
Okay.
more like, oh my god, there's someone right here. I'm gonna lose all my stuff.
Yeah,
I'm terrified.
Okay.
I was gonna say, y'all never even went back for your own stuff. You were just like, forget it. It's not worth it.
Nope. It's not worth it. No, thanks. But yeah, we did the thing. We played Elden Ring because we did reach our stretch goal. So thanks for everybody for donating. And funny enough, a few people did ask me afterwards, like, "Oh, are you gonna actually play it properly?" And I was like, "Oh, people seem really interested if I'm gonna play this game or not, like properly." I'm not sure why. Listen, I'm open to it in 2025, but it's not high in my priority list. Like, it'd have to be super cheap on sale or something. Like, so yeah, let's put it this way: after playing it at Extra Life, I'm not totally against it, but I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to play it properly or more. Like, that's just Souls games aren't my thing, and it's not Fulia's thing. That's kind of what it made it such a fun stretch goal for us.
Now, hold on. Question, Bowser, what total of stretch goal can we make it so that Matt has to actually play Elden Ring seriously? Because I feel like this needs to be a thing now.
I mean, 10,500 makes sense to me. If we make
10,500
that by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the books.
You know what?
If we clear a total now, I need to find out if we're actually close to this.
I mean, we're less than 500.
It's for the kids.
That's all I know.
We are currently at $10,130, which would mean we'd need $370.
I think we can do it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids. I would consider it. Let's put it this way. Now, when you say play it seriously, I assume that means I give it a fair shot. Doesn't mean I'm rolling credits on it.
100%.
That'd be too much.
Of
That'd be
course.
too much.
It's a 90-hour game. It's too much.
Good God. No. So we'll see. You know what? I'm open to trying it and giving it a fair chance because, yeah, I don't think I experienced it properly controlling the same character. I don't think most people play the game like that. I'm not sure. Maybe people do play it that way.
And that's it. Those are the only people who play that way. Or like speedrunners in the category 2 people, 1 controller are the only people who play the game that way.
But no, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, just hanging out with my friends and doing that. And then I did start up Dragon Guard 3. That is the second game left in my backlog. I only have 2 left, so it is started up, and Dragon Guard 3 has been in my backlog since 2021. So I was like, it's really about time to just, jump right into it. And for those who don't know, Dragon Guard 3 is made by the same director from Nier Automata, Nier Replicant, and it's very different from those 2 games, which is very surprising because apparently Nier Gestalt comes out, and then before Automata, it's actually Dragon Guard 3 that comes in between them. But Dragon Guard 3 is very different between the 2 of them. Like, it's not an open world RPG at all. It's like a very linear, repetitive. What's those games called? Like those
like a Muso.
Yeah, those games. So listen, I love Yoko Taro, but like it's not a very good. This Dragon Guard 3 gameplay is not very good. It's very repetitive. It's not that it's jank, it's just boring. Like you're just doing the exact same combos over and over, same enemies over and over. Like you're just kind of going through the droves. And what else threw me off is the fact that this game has a lot of humor in it, and Automata and Replicant aren't known for being comedic games. And Dragon Guard 3, I would say the vast majority of it is humor, but it's really bad humor. Like not like Resident Evil humor. Like it's just bad. Like I'm cringing really hard watching.
Like
this
it's
stuff.
trying to be like a really funny game, but it just is not nailing it.
No,
like
it is awful.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm rolling my eyes to the back of my head. Like it's really painful to do. But And I was typing in the Discord, and I think Rio was telling me like, yeah, it's the gameplay doesn't get any better, and apparently the final boss is like a rhythm game that's like from hell. That's gonna
Oh
take people
no.
hours, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I have no sense of rhythm, but I heard Marcus O'Neill's voice in my head, and he's like, dude, stop making this game into something that's not. This is not near Replicant. It's not near Automata. It's not going to be a a gameplay that's fun. But from what I've seen online, it's going to have the Yoko Taro story. So you know what? I'll put on a podcast and I will just plow through it and just see where the story takes me. Because right now, it is doing that typical Yoko Taro thing where it's like it seems like a very predictable storyline, and then obviously once you do the multiple playthroughs, you see that it's about something completely different. So I'll stick to it. It should only be 30 to 40 hours. If I can't beat that rhythm boss from hell, I'll just YouTube it, like whatever. Like I'm not even going for the platinum. But yeah, that's I'm giving it a chance, just because I love Yoko Taro games and I've played almost all of them. So I've played the Nier Automata and Replicant. I played Voice of Cards. Now I'm playing Dragon Guard 3. I don't think I'm gonna get to play Dragon Guard 1 just because it's locked to the PS2, I believe.
Yeah, you'll have to actually track down a
And
PS2 copy of that. And Dragon Guard 2, I think, is also on PlayStation 2.
those games are expensive, so I don't know. I might just stop here. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Well, I could be. Well, Brian, isn't the Nier Automata expansion from Fantasy 14? Did Yoko Taro actually creatively provide input on that
Oh, he sure did.
expansion?
It's canon.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Because
Oh, you
Bowser,
have to
you've
play
also played it, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Now
You
I might have
play
to.
it,
Yeah.
the whole thing now.
Yep.
Damn it. Oh,
That's
no.
how we got him, Bowser. We got him to play Final Fantasy 14 because Nier
Oh.
Heard
was
about
in
this?
there, and it's canon to the Nier story. Like Yoko Taro came out and confirmed that himself because he helped work on it. Like he helped design some of the bosses and stuff. It's so cool.
You could do it.
It's,
Yeah.
but you said I have to play like the main campaign to get there, though, right? It's not like I can just
play to the end of Shadowbringers to get there.
Okay, how long is that?
It's like 200 hours. You got this.
Maybe. It might be less now.
I can't.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't.
actually, no,
200 hours.
Now, if you want to be cheaty, Matt, there is a way around
Yes.
this. You could, in theory, buy a boost for your character, since you don't care
Okay.
about you clearly don't care about the Final Fantasy 14 story,
Now-
even though it's
Bowser
amazing
shaking your head.
and you would
You
love
should
it.
play it.
Yes, but in theory, if you
Don't-
wanted to
don't
just play
pay?
the Nier stuff, you could pay to just skip all that if you wanted to.
I like that
Like-
idea.
Play it.
What's wrong with it?
The
Just play
story's
it.
really good, Matt. You'll like it, even though it's really long.
It's so long. I'm gonna be like 50 by the time I get to it.
Oh,
I play
please.
really
But,
slow.
dude,
I play
it
really
is
slow.
You're
so
slogging
worth it,
through a 30-hour game that you don't even like.
Yeah.
Don't give me this nonsense. Pop that free trial. Get in Final Fantasy 14. You'll love it.
Like you're
Oh,
almost
God.
there with the free trial already. You basically have to get to the end of the free trial and you have one expansion after that and you're right there. You're right to the Nier stuff at that point. You know?
It's very tempting.
And if you
It's-
want, you can even ask your buddies, Bowser and Ryan, to come play with you. We can
that makes it more fun. You guys can carry me. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. See? I'm full of
Let me
good
think
ideas
about
today.
it. Let me think about it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing this past week.
Okay. Nice. Well, as for me, I played a bunch of games this week, y'all. I mean, first of all, at Extra Life, I really got to play a bunch of short games. I actually like bookended the YouTube stream in a lot of ways, where I started on the YouTube stream and then I stopped playing games basically until like the last 5 hours of the YouTube stream, and then I carried us to the end essentially. So played a lot of Sega Genesis games while I was there, though, or old games, as it were, because that's just what I usually play during Extra Life. Of course, I got to give a shout out to our boy JB, of course, composer of the PlayStation Drive theme song. Of course, for video viewers, I'm holding up a copy of Forgotten, which is his brand new single that he gave us, of course, while we were at Extra Life. But shout out to JB because he told me he made the mistake of telling me he's never played Sega Genesis or Sega CD before. So I made sure, of course, to educate him on the Sega CD and the Sega Genesis. And we played a bunch of stuff. We played, Streets of Rage 2 together. We played Cheetah Men from Action 52. We played Pong. We played Cool Spot. We played, Shadow Dancer, the Shinobi game. We played a bunch of a bunch of stuff. We played Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on Sega CD, which almost got the stream taken down. Thankfully, they didn't give us a full strike. At least it was just a claim. So we played a lot of that stuff. But folks, I finished Mega Man 3 again for the 70 or 80th time. At this point, I finished Mega Man 3 many, many times. But I finished it again while Miles _ Amanda was struggling through that final boss. I'm just going to play this whole game from start to finish before you even come close to finishing this boss fight, because there's so many cutscenes. I also finished during that same time an arcade game that just came to PlayStation. That's an old Konami arcade game that I've never played before, called Metamorphic Force, where you've got these 4 male characters, and depending on which one you select, they transform into a different animal, and you're collecting power-ups that then give your character different abilities. And it plays very much like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Sunset Riders, because again, it was Konami in that era, because it was developed in 1993, around the same time all those other games were being developed. So really, the one it felt like the most to me was actually the X-Men arcade game, in a lot of ways, where you kind of almost had like your mutant power, where like I was playing as the Panther guy, and he could like do like a screen clear where he would like flash all kinds of cool colors, and he would do this big attack that would wipe out all the enemies. It had some cool music and some good visuals, and it was a really, really fun arcade game. Like, I love just fun, Konami arcade games, especially of that era, and that's honestly, it was a lot of fun. Like, it was definitely in line with all the other Konami arcade games that came around that time. So shout out to Metamorphic Force, which just came to Archives on PS5, which is where I played it on stream. So on PlayStation, so on brand with what we're talking about here today. I also played Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. This, of course, is the re-release of Sonic Generations, which came out on the PlayStation 3 back in the early 2010s, but with an entirely new game attached to it called Shadow Generations, where you play as Shadow, and it's almost like a sequel to Sonic Generations. So it's actually basically like a double pack in a lot of ways. You get 2 games for the price of one. In fact, it's not even a full price game either. I think it's $69.99 in Canadian dollars, or I think that translates to $49.99 in the US. But I think it's a lot of fun. Like, Sonic Generations was already a really great game. It allowed you to play as both 3D Sonic and 2D Sonic, and you had specific levels that were callbacks to old Sonic levels from a bunch of different old Sonic games, like the Genesis games, but on also levels from Sonic Adventure, or Sonic Colors, or Sonic Heroes, and they kind of did these remixes of them where you've got like 2D levels pulled from Sonic Adventure, or you've got 3D versions of like the classic Sonic levels. So it was just like a really cool nostalgia trip. But then the Shadow stuff is just really cool too. Like, getting to play as Shadow. All the levels are really well crafted, and I think it's actually a really good package. Like, I haven't finished the whole thing, but I think Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, if you like Sonic at all, like, I think this game's a slam dunk. It's probably one of the best Sonic games to come out in a while, if not the best. And I mean, that's high. That's not really high praise, because I know a lot of people, especially in carpool gaming, like a certain Sean Capri fellow. Not everyone loves Sonic, and that's okay. But us Sonic fans, like, if you like Sonic at all, like, I think this is a no-brainer. This game's great. So shout out to that. I also started Neva, but this one I just wasn't feeling as much. I know we had like the episode devoted to Neva a couple podcasts ago. So that actually inspired me to give it a try, because this one I was like, well, I didn't know if I wanted to try it at all, but I had a little bit of a lull where I was trying a bunch of different stuff. And Neva seemed like a good option. So I gave it a try, and the game's really beautiful. Like, I love the look of Neva, and everything you and Fulia talked about, Matt, as far as, the way the game looks, incredible. Like that, and the music I think is really good, but I'm just not really sold on the gameplay. Like, especially with like having to control Neva, and Neva just runs around and does kind of their own thing, and you kind of have to just wait for them to come to you. It's just like, I'm not in love with those aspects of that game. It kind of reminds me of something like The Last Guardian in that way, where I'm almost like, come on, I just want this game to progress. And I'm waiting for this dog, who's very lovable, by the way, but I'm waiting for this dog to catch up, and they're just going very slowly. And I just want this game to go faster, because I love Sonic games and I like to go fast. So yeah, like that's why I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, but I'm glad I at least tried it. And I think it's pretty cool. But
yeah, I played through that as well. I will say it didn't hit for me the way that Reese did. but it was
Oh,
still good. It's a
really?
beautiful
Oh.
game.
Hmm.
It's nice. I wasn't sold on the combat.
Yeah, the combat too is just almost like throwaway to me. It's very, very
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm not as high on it as others, but it's still a good game. I think people should play it. Give it a shot.
Yeah. And then, of course, last game I played this week and over the last few weeks, actually, but this is the first time I've really gotten to talk about it on this podcast. Dragon Age the Veilguard. I've been playing it for a while. Of course, huge thank you to our friends at EA for sending over a code for that. I've been playing for a while, and I rolled credits on it on Friday night. And this game was great. I loved it. As someone who loves classic BioWare games, like this game gave me exactly what I was looking for. It gave me the really, great, interesting characters. It gave me great, cool, and interesting like dialogue options, cool combat, branching storylines, and it also just a ton of callbacks to classic Dragon Age games. Like it was exactly what I was looking for. And I know like reception is very mixed. People either love this game or hate this game. And I'm definitely in the camp of like, I really like this game a lot. Like I have little nitpicks, like the writing is not the best, but I do think it's a really good stepping stone to work towards BioWare kind of being on the right path again after Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda. Like I think it's definitely like, I think I even liked it more than Dragon Age Inquisition. So I would say it's probably my favorite BioWare game since Mass Effect 3. So I liked it a lot.
Nice.
Wow.
It's pretty high praise, but I'm not going to dive too deep into it unless you two have specific questions for me about it, because I talked about it for half an hour on the RPG Cave this week. So if you want to hear like my full thoughts about Dragon Age and everything I had to say about it, please, I implore you to go listen to that RPG Cave episode, because again, I talked Garrett's ear off about it, and I felt bad for him because he kind of had to just sit there and listen to me talking about Dragon Age for half an hour. But that was the thing.
I have a very specific question.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have a very specific question. So, asking for a friend. Her name is Fulia,
Okay.
who I believe has a copy of Dragon Age. I believe she won it from Save the Game Media. That's right. Shout out to them. So,
Nice.
from my understanding, I don't think she's played the other games before. I'm not sure if she's played games similar to this. My hunch is no.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think her experience will be? Do you have any advice for Fulia before she dives into this beautiful world? I see you, Fulia, in the chat. Please be excited, friends. Please be excited for Fulia playing Dragon Age. If we get enough likes, maybe she'll stream it. Maybe.
Whoa.
At least I'm asking her to. At least I'm asking her to.
At least you're asking that instead of just demanding
Nicely.
it this time. Yeah,
That's right.
So here's the thing about this game. I think the overall narrative, like the overall plot of this game, is simple enough that anyone can come in and play it. But as I kind of alluded to when talking about it, there's a ton of callbacks to previous Dragon Age games. There are specific topics or factions or things in the world that you just won't understand because the game doesn't do a very good job of explaining things, that if you didn't at least play the other games in some way or just read stuff about the other games, you're going to feel a little bit lost. At the same time, I still think it is very enjoyable for someone who is brand new to it. If you kind of turn your brain off to some of that stuff, or you just don't care as much if you're mostly in it for the combat, or if you just, are less about, reading a bunch of the lore tidbits about certain characters from Dragon Age 1 that pop up, and more about, just having a good time. Because the main goal of this game is there's these two elven gods. You got to go beat them up and save the world. That's it. It's like a very, very simple fantasy plot. It's just everything along the way is kind of peppered with references to the old games. So definitely a lot of those things will fly over Fulia's head for sure. As far as the combat goes, I actually think it's the most accessible game in the series by far. Like they tried to make it more like Mass Effect 2's combat in a lot of ways, or even something like Tales or Final Fantasy 16, where it is very much an action RPG through and through. You're not controlling the other characters. It's not turn-based. The only time the action pauses is when you kind of like pull up like the tactical reticle that then allows you to assign certain abilities from your party members to use. But for the most part, your party members attack on your own, and you just get down and dirty with the enemies. If you play one of the two melee characters, or if you're played as the mage like I did, you're attacking from range. So yeah, I know Fulia really liked Final Fantasy 16, and it's not as combo heavy as something like Final Fantasy 16 is. But I do think like she'd feel almost right at home with the combat in a game like this. Because again, it's not trying to be as tactical as something like Dragon Age Inquisition was, or even like how Dragon Age Origins was very, very close to being turn-based, like almost closer to something like Xenoblade or Baldur's Gate 3 even. Whereas this is very much not in that direction. It's very much towards Mass Effect, where you are, it is very much an action RPG through and through. So, yeah.
Great. She'll love it. I hope she streams it.
I hope
Can't
so
wait.
too. I hope so too. Oh, Rybo asked a very important question here. I like these words being incorporated into chat questions. On a scale of Pepsi Man to Various Day Life, where does Dragon Age: The Veilguard land? I feel like this is.
What does that even mean, Rybo?
Well,
I don't even know which is good
mean?
and which is bad.
Pepsi Man clearly
Yeah,
is at
what
the
is that
top, and
scale?
Various Day Life is at the bottom. We all know
Okay.
this. So I mean, it's closer to the Pepsi Man side of things. I think it's
Nice.
it's good. Because if I was like reviewing this game, I'd say it's like a solid 8.59 out of 10 game, which is again
Nice.
Oh.
exactly what I was hoping for just a return to form for BioWare, like just them just trying to get back to what they're good at. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. I'm also super interested to hear what Sean has to say about it as well, because I know he's also playing it and he's an even bigger Dragon Age fan than I am. And him and I have already had a couple of discussions about, some returning characters and stuff already, where he's just like, man, there's some really good stuff in there. In fact, also, I said this on RPG Cave, and I'm going to say it here. The last act of Dragon Age: The Veilguard might be one of the best final acts I've played in a game in a very long time. It's so awesome. They did something really crazy and cool, and I want more people to see it, because I need to talk to more people about it. So, got to give that a shout out. Also, Adam Davis, shout out to you for shouting at Pepsi Man. Of course, everyone likes Pepsi Man. Which, by the way, that'll be a stream sometime next month. I will be donning the Pepsi Man costume. Thanks to your support playing Pepsi Man. Please be excited for that. And then, of course, last but not least, I played a little World of Warcraft before we hopped in tonight, and I made a mistake, Bowser. I made a mistake. So I logged into WoW being like, I just have a hankering for WoW. Let me just hop in for 30 minutes before the podcast. And I saw all the World of Warcraft anniversary stuff was going on, including like double XP and stuff. So now all I want to do is just not play other games and just level all my alts in World of Warcraft. So
There you go.
mistakes were definitely made. I shouldn't have
Is
logged
it a
in.
mistake? I mean, if it's
It
fun.
is. It's the mistake because, Dragon Quest is coming up this week, and I've still got Romancing Saga 2 to play, and I've got a bunch of other stuff that I want to play. I still haven't even played Life is Strange yet, and I've been wanting to play it since it came out, and I'm just like, World of Warcraft is right there, and I could get all my alts to level 80, and I'm just like, oh man, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. But anyways, that is all we've been playing this week, because we got to shift into our topic of the week. So our topic of this week, on the thumbnail, very apparent. In fact, very different thumbnail this week, because it didn't have big bold letters of the name of a game or anything like that, because our topic this week is, of course, Extra Life 2024. So, of course, we had to make sure we had Bowser here, because Bowser was a big part of Extra Life 2024, as long as everyone else came to Extra Life 2024. So we're just gonna talk about our experience at Extra Life. Because Matt, we've met before, obviously, multiple times.
Yeah.
But we finally got to meet everyone else. It was so great. I was so glad we got to meet everyone else, and get to hang out with everyone else over the weekend, because we had gotten to meet Cwaggy once, because he came up to Toronto. I think it was I can't remember if it was earlier this year or late last year. I remember it was cold outside. That's all I remember about it. The last time he was here.
Yeah.
And Yon 32, we of course had met a couple times before, but everyone else, it was brand new. Like, it was so cool to finally get the chance to meet every single person, including Bowser, of course, as well as Fulia. I can't believe, Matt, we finally met Fulia in person. She's a real person. I can't believe that's a thing.
She is.
Yeah. So let's go around the room. Let's talk about our experience at Extra Life and what we thought about it. Also, I just want to give a special shout out. We talked about this on RPG Cave, but special shout out to Garrett, who apparently him and Fulia actually met over on Thursday or Friday as well.
They did.
In San Francisco,
yes.
because Fulia is on the West Coast currently, and she met up with Garrett for the first time. So now I think Fulia's met everyone on the team except for Fee and Ron at this point. Like, she's checked off all the boxes.
You're right. Yes. Yeah, she's getting close. You're right.
You got to check a lot of boxes in one day last weekend.
Exactly.
That was the easy time.
Exactly. So, Bowser, start us off. How was Extra Life? How'd it go?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, I don't know how, but every year it's better. I I don't know what next year's going to be because how do you top this? And I think that every year, like, this was awesome. I can't wait. Let's do it again next weekend. Um, it was so good to meet everyone, hugs all around. And I really appreciated a lot of the time we had to just sit around and chat outside of the event because the event's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. You're
No kidding.
cognizant that there's
Yeah.
cameras on you at all times if you're in like the couch area.
Not only
And
that too, but like in the couch area, it was just like it was tougher to kind of walk around in there too.
yeah, it was very
like people probably
cramped.
saw in the video, we were a little bit cramped, so it was just hard to walk around and talk to everyone at that point.
Yep. So it was nice to have like dinner Friday night after we set up and hangs at the Airbnb on Sunday and dinner there and Monday streaming again and just, spending time together.
Yeah, especially that Monday in particular, because that Monday we really like. By the way, sorry, Matt. That Monday we spent together was actually really really special because we streamed for a little bit, and of course we played the NES World Championship, and a certain someone here was of course the NES champion. Not going to gloat or anything like that. I wonder who that could be. But
Very nice.
we had like a really great talk with everyone afterwards. Like we didn't come back from D&D, and I felt really bad. And D&D of course will still happen, but like that was really special. We got to sit down and just chat and hang out, and it was a lot of fun. You're definitely right
Yeah.
about that.
Yep. A lot of behind the scenes talk and what we can do to improve things and, you know, big pie in the sky dreams. So it was nice to share that in person. Sometimes it gets lost if you're just like chatting in Discord or even on a voice call. You miss some of the facial expressions and the real excitement in people's voices. So it was really special to have that time. Quaggy and Jan got the behind the scenes. They got like bonus Patreon exclusive content there just for those two.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Well, also too, we had the Save the Game folks that they hung out with us for a little bit before they took off as well, and yeah, like I definitely saw the merits, and because this was my first time going to Extra Life this year, and Sean always talked about how much it really really was good to have those extra days just to hang out and get to know everyone and talk to everyone that way. And like this year, I definitely saw like why that was important and why it was more important, because you're right, like it was tough to talk to a lot of people at the event and kind of wander away from the stream a little bit. Luckily, since we have a larger team, we could definitely, balance people a lot better than if there was only a couple of us there. But having that extra Friday and then the Monday to really get to talk to people and get to know people, I think really made the event a lot more special that way.
yeah, I think the first year I went, I didn't do that. Like I drove up Friday, got set up, did the event Saturday into Sunday, and then drove back home. Well, I didn't drive. My husband drove most of the way back home. And then last year we did like all of our hangouts before the event, and still Sunday when the event was over, it's like, okay, go home. Could go cry in your car. So it was nice to have that time afterwards to still just see everyone. So like the end of the 24 hours wasn't as depressing.
Yeah. And it's also special too, because we all like shared the same house together too. Like we had, like we shared our combinations, and we couldn't really get any closer than that if we tried anyways, especially because like the rooms themselves didn't really have like really great even dividers or anything like that. Like Matt and I slept in a bunk together. We were in the same room. So
yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
And you two were responsible adults. And after the gaming marathon ended and we got back to the Airbnb, you went to bed like normal human beings would. Some of us did not choose that path.
No.
Maybe stayed up and sat around the imaginary campfire outside. And
a game of Flip Cup almost.
We were very
materialized.
close. Yeah.
Oh,
Fully
seriously?
arranged back
Oh,
then.
wow.
Oh, yeah. I was like looking
Damn.
up places to send Green Jeans to get more beer. He now tells me that he wasn't
Jesus.
going to go, but I was like, wow, there's DoorDash around here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I still can't. But y'all are beasts, because like at that point we had been.
I was so
for
tired.
We were up for
Yeah.
almost 29 hours at that point.
Yeah.
With going in early to do the setup and stuff like that. So it was just like, I don't know how y'all stayed up that late. I'm old, so
It was
that
FOMO.
right
It was
there.
like, as soon as people said, oh, I'm going to go sit outside for a minute, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to miss that. So I will stay out here too.
Yeah. True.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nice. Well, Matt, what about you? I know your time was short with us, but did you have fun? Did you have fun hanging out with us?
Honestly, it went beyond expectations, truly. I remember I remember Thursday and Friday night, getting things ready because I just like everybody else, like I have this big philosophy of when you say yes to something, you're also saying no to something else. And in my particular case, saying yes to Extra Life meant not being with my family and not being there, to help my wife out with chores, errands, picking up the kids, and all that stuff. So Thursday and Friday night was just really like front loading, getting stuff ready for the weekend, getting stuff ready for Monday. And I was really, tired from work, getting all this stuff done, just really feeling spent. And I remember, fun fact, I did ask Jan32, I'm like, how long is the drive from the Toronto area? And he's like, oh, it's like 4.5 hours. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. I never checked. I never looked until Saturday morning. I woke up and then our Friday night I looked and I was like, yo, this says 6.5 hours. Like Jan32 lives like 40 minutes, like closer-ish because he's downtown. But I was like, I'm doing something wrong, but whatever. Anyways, I saw that and I was a little bit.
Preface something, Matt. It was
yes.
4 to 5 hours from where Jan picked us up at the airport, which is on the other side of the city, heading towards Niagara Falls. So
yeah, it makes a big difference. And then, when I finally did get to Utica, I asked him, I was like, hey man, you told me it's 4.5 hours. And then he asked me a very important question, which was, well, did you take any tolls? And I said, heck no, I didn't use any tolls. He's like, yeah, tolls makes a difference. I'm like, well, how much of a difference? I checked my Google Maps and surely enough, would have saved me 90 minutes. So he was accurate with his 4.5, 5 hour estimate. But anyways, I was really, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I was actually feeling quite down like Friday and Saturday, just about like how tired I was and just how stressed out I was about getting things ready. And I remember driving in and just not sure what to expect. And, Ryan, you asked, an important question, which was, how was it? And I'm not just saying this, like Extra Life in person was probably one of the best things I've done this year. And quite a bit, even like in my adult life, like I never in my wildest dreams could have expected to be, um, I didn't expect to be that happy, to be quite honest. And a big part of it, Ryan and I have hung up before Jan 32, but like I've known Bowser and Seth for years, and the idea of never seeing them in person was like kind of sad. So that fact that it actually happened, my heart was so filled by that, and it was just, all the sweet hangs, like like what Bowser said. Saturday is just a mess. Like you're just, trying to just go, like eating food and playing the games and stuff. So it was a bit of a blur. So I am truly grateful that we had the extra time on the Sunday, even though I wasn't there for the Monday, but just the sweet hangs on the Sunday, like the dinner and just hanging out, like was truly special. Like yeah, spoiler alert, like Ryan said, like we recorded a very special episode of the campfire, and I know Sean took some pictures, but I took a mental picture because I was looking around the room and I was like, we're almost all of us are here, and I know for me it was hard to be here. Fulia flew in from Australia. Like Lachlan drew like 14 hours.
Yep.
Like everybody, had to make sacrifices to come, but this group was here, and like I said, like my heart was so filled. But at the same time, it's like not only did I selfishly get so much out of this, we did such an amazing thing. Like we raised $10,000 for children's hospitals and the community who supported us. Like not only, so what I'm saying is like it's such a positive thing. Like there was nothing negative about it. Like something I got out of it personally, which was to finally be with my friends, and we gave back to the world in a positive way. So yeah, it's just beyond my wildest dreams, and just meeting people for the first time. I'm not sure what to expect. Like for one thing, this horrible joke that Lockleth is really small. She's not small. Okay, that is not true. Okay,
I was literally she's taller than me. I think the whole time being like, guys, y'all keep making fun of Lockleth, but I think she's actually like normal person height. Like
I agree. Yes, I was very surprised.
and of course, she turned out to be normal person height.
Yes, no, but nobody's small in carpool gaming. All right, whatever people say, just some people are just Bowser. You're not. No, we're like almost the same height.
I was gonna say like actually, it was weird. I didn't expect this before meeting people because I expected more people to be taller than me. But I was like, how are Sean and I like the tallest people at carpool that are here? Clearly, it was just because Fee wasn't there because she's taller than both of us. But it's just like,
oh, she's the tallest? Is she taller?
Yeah. She's the tallest person at carpool. But
funny.
actually, I don't know how tall Ron is. But
That's true. I am not sure how tall Ron is. That's a good question. So we're not, I'm not sure who's the tallest person in carpool, but
It's one of the two of them for sure. Because
Yeah.
Garrett is about Sean and I's height.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's just amazing to meet people like finally for the first time because I've had minimal interactions with like Amanda and Mitch, and just meeting them in person and just seeing how fun they are and how cool they are was just such a great thing. And like just hang out, just the sweet hangs was the best part. Like Bow's like Green Jeans, like what a sweet, sweet man. Like I don't know how to else to describe it, but what a sweetheart. Like him and I had a few special moments together, just hanging out and chit chatting. And I think he told me he's like I don't really sleep that much. Like he sleeps like 4 hours, and I was like okay. And I had to leave Monday morning around like 6 or 6:30. He was already awake. He was like just chilling there, like it was a nice way for me to say goodbye to him. I didn't realize he's like, yeah, I wasn't messing around. I was like, yeah, you're up already. So
I was gonna say, I don't think I saw him sleep the entire time I was there.
Yeah, it's easy to miss. If you sleep like normal human being hours, you won't even know if he sleeps. He could be a vampire. I just don't know it. I don't know. But at least he's a nice vampire.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
he can
oh
go
my
in
god,
in the daylight though. He's a day walker.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But no, just the definition of kindness. But yeah, like Extra Life was just beyond my expectations, truly. And I remember coming home on the Monday, feeling, just jumping right back into like, dad life and husband life and feeling really tired. And I remember in the evening, I was like, I'm so sad. I miss all my friends. Like Seth was right. Seth wasn't messing around with like the post Extra Life stuff. I was like, this really sucks. And then Tuesday when I went back to work, I really felt it. I was like, I don't want to be back to work. This sucks. I just want to be hanging with my friends, doing fun stuff. I was like, this is like everybody seems to have the same sentiment, which is waiting a full year to be in person just seems like too much. Like I don't like that just seems so far away and so daunting. So, I don't know how we're gonna figure out something else to do more in-person sweet hangs because waiting till next year just seems brutal. But
yeah,
everybody go ahead, Bowser.
I'm envious of you guys in the greater Toronto area because you do get together a few times a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Matt,
you get to have some of those hangs, and it's always
it's like we're gonna definitely find time to hang out soonish, probably.
Well, we will. It's true.
Not too terrible of a drive for me, so I might just pop up one of those times.
Toronto's a cool place. Come hang out.
Yeah,
we'll show you around. I mean,
we'd love to have you.
I mean, to be fair, it is like there's not a lot to do here, but we're here.
I just want to see my friends.
Yeah, exactly. Now before I weigh in on this topic, I'm going to just bring in some breaking news straight from X. I'm going to read the following tweet here. Please be excited about this. From Miles_of_Amanda. At least 30 retweets, and I will restream Sean Caprian $2 Heroes favorite game ever, Neon White eye emoji. This tweet has received 30 retweets.
Nice.
Let's go.
So it sounds like Miles_of_Amanda will be playing and streaming Neon White over on her Twitch channel. In fact, you know what? I'm going to solidify this even further because I haven't even hit the retweet button, and I'm going to press it now. So now it's 31.
There we go.
Now there's no excuse.
Yes.
Now it's no excuse.
I'll hit that after the stream.
Yeah, it's official. But that's on the wheel, by the way. I've never played Neon White either. So
thanks.
Oh, you haven't played it either?
No.
I think you'll like it. I think
you'll find that, especially when you saw, because I saw that you saw my list that I posted. There's a lot of games I haven't played. I make it sound like I've played a lot of games, but I mean, for God's sakes, I haven't even played Various Day Life yet. And if I haven't played Various Day Life yet, have I even really played games? At that point, I don't think so. But no. So getting back to what you're talking about with Extra Life, yeah, it was a really special thing for me too. I talked about it a lot during Campfire, where for me, I've been part of Yumi Capri and Carpool Gaming going back many years now. Going back to 2019 is when I joined the Xbox Drive, and it'd been always my plan to go to Extra Life every single year, but every single year something happened, and I kept kicking the can down the road, and be like, well, I'll go next year. and I'll go next year, and I'll go next year. And next year just never came because something else came up with her. I couldn't get my passport in time because that happened one year, which funny enough, that happened to Luckleth this year, where that's why her drive was so long, because she didn't have her passport. Or COVID happened, or, any number of things happened, any number of reasons happened to kind of prevent me from coming. And I kind of had, like, even going into it, Matt, I kind of had the same feelings you did, where it's like, am I really going to enjoy myself here? Because it's one of those things where if people know me, they'll know that I'm like a really big introvert. Like, being around people in person is definitely the opposite of something I find enjoyable, typically. Like, I am someone who likes to have my own space and be by myself. Like, that is very much my thing. In fact, when I told my mom that I was going to Extra Life, she's like, you're going there with a bunch of people? They're going to be there and you're going to be there and you're going to share a room with someone? I'm like, yeah, come on, it'll be fine. Nothing wrong with it. She's like, who are you? Because like she knows that I am not the type of person that likes to be around people. And, even during the event, there were times where I had to pop away from everyone. And Flea came and talked to me just to make sure I was okay. And I just explained to her, I was just like, yeah, just being around people all the time just stresses me out. It's not, nothing against y'all. It's just, I'm just being around other people for more than a couple hours just really, really, gets my nerves going, which is one of the reasons why, like, it's tough for me to work in office, and I get very discouraged when I'm working in my office. And like working from home, I just thrive so much more, which is why I'm glad I kind of worked my way back into a position where I now can work from home mostly. Because like I'm just very much not a people person. But at the same time, even though all that said, I had an amazing time hanging out with all of y'all. Like, I had so much fun getting to know everyone in person. Cause like you said, Baza and Matt, like I've known y'all for a very long time. When y'all were just fans of Carpool or Yumi Capri, to now y'all being part of the crew with us, to even the community members we met, like Awesome Dave trying to convince me trying to gas me into thinking that Final Fantasy VIII is the greatest game ever, to which I tell him I'm tapping the sign saying, please shut up. And Quaggy and Yon32, the Save the Game media people, like, God, I've done so many podcasts with Kevin, and we had never met in person before. So it was us meeting in person for the first time, knowing each other for like 5 or 6 years was just a really special moment. Even meeting Mitch, because like Mitch was honestly, out of all the people at Carpool, he was the very first person I did a podcast with, because I was on the Gamercast with a special episode, Xbox predictions episode, where it was Sean, myself, and Mitch. And it was the first time I'd done a podcast with Sean, but it was also my first podcast with Mitch at the same time.
Wow.
Where we did like Xbox predictions. It was back in like 2017. So that was like 6 or 7 years ago at this point, which is just weird to think about. But yeah, like I've known all y'all for so long, and I finally got to give everyone a big hug and just play games with y'all, go to dinner, share the hotel. Like, everything we did was really special to me. And it meant so much where when I came home, I was definitely not in a good mood those next couple of days. I was definitely a little bit depressed, because I missed you guys. I missed all of y'all. And yeah, right? It was just, it was so fun to finally get a chance to meet everyone, to hang out and just play together, and just the sweetest hangs, like you said, Matt, so perfectly said, just the sweet hangs of it all were the best part. And of course, I just got to do a special shout out to you, Baza and Green Jeans. You treated us like royalty while you were there.
Seriously.
Made sure we were well taken care of. The fridge was stocked with everything we loved. Whenever we ran out of something, it was you or Green Jeans that immediately were like, all right, we're going out to go get it. We'll be right back. Like, y'all treated us like we were family, because when you're here, you're family. And I know I speak from everyone else on the team who just have to say, like, we really appreciate you both for taking care of us a lot during the Extra Life, for sure.
Yeah, got to take care of the family.
Yeah, you guys were like mom and dad to us, even though we very quickly learned at the venue that Lee is actually Sean's father. That was confirmed fact, because every time Sean needed something from Lee, all I heard from across the room was like, Dad. I just laughed my ass off every single time he did that. It's great.
But Lockleth is my daughter.
Yes.
Aww.
I love Lockleth so much. I loved getting to meet her for the first time, and we had some precious moments hanging out together Also, I just love the image of just Locke. Like, all I picture from the weekend is just the picture of Locke just curled up on the couch in like a smaller and smaller ball as the night went on.
With that Squishmallow.
Yeah, with a Squishmallow to where she was trying to morph into a Squishmallow.
Yep.
Oh,
Still waking up and clapping when someone donated.
She
'cause we
did.
had to clap and
She
say
did.
their name.
Of course.
She sure did.
And then immediately going back to sleep.
Yeah,
Whereas,
that's great.
I just had the most uncomfortable sleeping, and because I took a nap in like these chairs out in the hallway, and just like it was not great, but it was a nap. I needed it.
JB had some good sleep. That
Yes,
guy
he
was
did.
5-head
JB,
play.
he
He pulled
did.
up 2 of those chairs in the hallway and had like a full-on bed going.
Mhm.
It's
He's
all
a smart
good.
one.
It's all good.
Yeah. Oh, and of course our favorite.
I did
koala
better.
chiming in the
Aw,
chat
we miss
saying
you
she
too,
misses
Fulia.
us as well. But sorry, Matt, go ahead. Let's hear what you were going to say.
I did better than I thought because I usually get like 6 hours of sleep. I'm usually in bed by like 10:30, 11. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I really didn't want to drink any caffeine, but just the energy in the room. I was like, I kept going. I think the only lull I had was around 3, 4 a.m.
Mhm.
when I was doing the character creator with Sean, and it was because the couch was really comfortable. Like I was like, no, I can't sit here. Like that's what will get you. Like if you keep sitting for too long,
Especially if you're
in the
not the
couches,
one
like
playing.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I
And
think
you're
that's when
watching
I was like,
someone
oh
go
crap.
through a character creator for an hour and a half.
It's like, get to the plot.
I didn't mind. I like character creators, but yeah, when I was getting that low, I was like, oh crap, I need to get up, start moving, and that's why I was like, I'm just gonna stand, get all the food that was there. That really helped out quite a bit. So did a lot better. But yeah, you know what? People need to take a nap. It's all good. Like, we're up for more than 24 hours for like let's be real. Like a lot of us are more than up for longer than that. Like
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
Well,
no,
I'm
I
like
totally get it when
Amanda,
people
where
need
like
it.
Amanda talks about how important sleep is to her, and she needs to sleep a lot, like 10 hours every night. And I'm kind of like that too, where it's like, y'all probably notice I slept a lot because I'm just always like that. I sleep pretty heavy all the time.
I should have slept a lot more.
Yeah.
And then I had to take naps every day after work since I've been home.
Oh my God.
Oh, did you really?
It caught
Oh,
up
yeah.
to you.
Yeah, it does come back at you. Yeah, no, for reals. And Amanda did not seem tired the entire 24 hours. Was it not? Yeah, like the
The
entire,
power of
like she didn't show
Fortnite
any
and
signs.
Xenoblade propelled
My
her, I
God.
think.
Surely, I was like, she must get tired. Nope, didn't see any signs. Like, because I'm watching them. Like, you can kind of see when people are starting to fade out a little bit, and like if they either take a nap or they just fight their way. Amanda didn't seem to be phased by it at all.
Yep.
At all. I guess you're right. It's the power of Fortnite and Xenobabes, but that was truly impressive. I
Yeah.
was very surprised.
I was gonna say Amanda closed out the Twitch stream for us in impressive fashion, like the Xenobabes ending. Of course, we got to see it.
Oh, so epic. So good. So good.
Yeah. So that was Extra Life. It was a lot of fun, and I can't, of course, go on before I mention one last thing. Of course, we got to meet Fulia, and she was great. She was fantastic. She was just as bubbly as I expected her to be, and as sweet and as lovely as I expected. So, I mean, shout out to Fulia. I can't believe we finally got to meet Fulia in person as well. Like that was really special.
From
We got to meet-
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that
And
would
we
have made
got
it more special is
koalas.
if Ron was there.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fee, and just
Fee,
yeah. There's
Garrett.
Yeah.
and Garrett. Yeah, just yeah. It's hard, but you know what?
We'll
I
get
got
them
to see
next
more
time.
people than expected. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always next time, but that
Yeah.
was good.
For sure. Well, I think we should dive into some of our listener questions here. We got a few of them this week. Speaking of Extra Life, we got Quaggy who chimes in and says, "It is I, the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes." And yes, Quaggy was wearing his crown to signify that he in fact is the king
so
of
good.
Xenobabes. What was your favorite part of Extra Life stream, and why was it 6 hours of Fortnite? Because yes, there were 6 hours of Fortnite, which, by the way, for people who want to know some behind the scenes stuff, that was the part of our YouTube uploads. We had to clean the most up because of the licensed music, because of Fortnite.
Oh, for reals? Oh, that's too
Yeah.
bad.
For reals. It got one of our VOD videos, Matt, banned in Canada.
Oh, no.
Damn, jeez.
You couldn't watch it in Canada until we cleared it up. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Rip.
that's so
Yeah.
annoying. Yeah.
But the 6 hours of Fortnite was cool to watch. I mean,
There was
I
more
watching
than
most
6
of it.
hours of Fortnite played. Maybe
Oh,
only 6 on
I was gonna
stream.
say, actual factual. There's no way it was just 6 hours. There's more.
Yeah,
100%.
way more than that. But
Oh yeah. Amanda told us she played at least 7 to 8 hours before Xenobabes. And then people
Yeah.
were still playing it after Xenoblade was happening. So,
Yep.
Exactly.
but yeah, it was only on stream. It was only on stream. But so yeah, what was our favorite moments from the stream? I loved, and people hated me for this too, but I loved cheering Kevin Ainsworth on in Fall Guys because he gets. I love just seeing how competitive Kevin Ainsworth got while playing Fortnite, and I was just like, I had to cheer for Kevin. I had to cheer him on, hoping he wins every single game. And he did not, and he got very upset. And I loved it. I relished that moment. I was like, "Yes, Kevin, go all out." I love seeing the competitive side of Kevin because I never get to see that aspect of him because he doesn't stream games. He just talks about them on his podcast.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Yeah, I have a couple other moments, but I want to go around the horn. Bowser, what was your favorite part of the Extra Life stream itself?
I think the moment we got to be done lying to Sean, even though most of my lying was, lies of omission, I just didn't tell him that I knew things. Mm-hmm. It's still like every week wondering like who's going to slip up. Are we going to say something? Mitch streams all the time, and is he going to slip up over there? He did a great job. Yeah, there was a couple times, especially the closer we got to the event, people started to get loose lips a little bit. But I think it's only obvious if you knew the secret. Like if you didn't know, you would have never picked up on it. But yeah, that was a really cool moment when Mitch showed up and said, "Can I play?"
Yeah.
And then Sean mooned the entire internet, and Lachlan tried to help him out. And
yeah. That's a great video, by the way. I've rewatched it a bunch of times.
It's so good. It's so good. I remember when I first got there and met Mitch, I asked right away, I'm like, I'm like, how surprised was he? And he's like, dude, he's like, I recorded it. And I was like, show me the video. And like, it was so sweet just to see like how, like all the lies, all the omissions from, Bowser and everybody on the team, totally worth it for just that happiness from Sean. Like it was such a beautiful moment. Like, yeah, I loved it. I'm glad he recorded it too, because I missed it, unfortunately, to see it in person. So when he showed me, I was like, oh, dude, this is the best. Mitch is such a cool guy. I love that. That was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I also love the drawing that Lachlan made of him as well, because it was perfect.
Exactly what he looks like. This is the same picture.
Yeah.
Man, Fulia and Lachlan are true artists, eh? Like that banner is beautiful. And to have that creativity, 4 a.m., 3 a.m., sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Truly remarkable. Like I can't even do that fully functioning. Like that's it. Shout out to them, because it is a beautiful banner, and all the art designs they did. Like I really liked it. But my favorite part of the Extra Life stream, I think, is the most obvious answer. It has to be Amanda. Obviously, rolling credits on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You can't ask for the stuff to happen. Like you truly can't plan it. Because I remember it was around I know the idea came up a while ago. Like Quag mentioned it. Like, let's get Amanda to roll credits. I'm like, yeah, we got, and Amanda's like, I don't really want to. I'm like, we got lots of time. It's just, we'll figure it out. And I remember it was around 2 or 3 a.m. when Fulia said, I'm going to wrap up Cult of the Lamb, and then Amanda can hop on. And, in my head, I'm like, okay, if we start at 2 or 3 a.m., she'll be done in like 2 hours, like 5, 6 a.m. or whatever. Plenty of time to do this before Extra Life is over. But as, if you did watch the stream, Amanda played a lot of Fortnite, more than was expected. I think we practically had to like rip the control out of her hand to actually get her to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Yeah, I think she was trying to avoid it, but
she was supposed to start at 2:30 a.m. and I think it was like 2 or 3 hours later that she actually started.
It was like 4 or 5 a.m. and I think Fuli's like, yo, you need to get over here and play Xenoblade. So yeah, just even then, like if you start at 4 or 5, I'm like, okay, she'll be done at like 7:30 tops. And I know this story's been told on other episodes of Carpool Gaming, but yeah, like if you haven't played the game, the final boss is horrendous. It is quite the slog. It's like 2-3 hours long. It's an awful boss fight, even though it's a fantastic game. And she got to the very end, and she almost killed the boss, but then she died, and it was rough. So she had to do it all over again. And because she died and had to start all over again, when she actually finally did beat the boss, it was literally at the end of her Extra Life stream. Like you could not have planned this. Like the universe wanted us to have this happen this way, and the fact that Xenobabes were there, like Yon32, Cwagmire's there coaching her throughout the entire thing. Like, and then, I don't want to spoil the story, but like, the final cutscene talks about like, perseverance and friendship and, relationships and, possibly saying goodbye. And the fact that all of us were there, JB, Save the Game Media, Mitch, all of us were there just watching silently. Like it was such a beautiful moment that I truly couldn't have planned for or have predicted, and the fact that it happened. And again, I'm just so happy that I was there in person, because I'm telling you, if I was at home watching this, I would have been devastated that I'm watching this by myself, like, and feeling so depressed. So
Yep.
that was truly my favorite part of the stream for sure, 100%.
That was one of those moments where it was just like I was there for that, because
Yes,
you might have also, if
exactly.
you were at home, you might have been asleep. You might have fallen asleep because you were there by yourself and not energized by the energy of everyone else. So you might have just missed it.
It's
Just
true.
watch it
It's
on the
true.
VOD, and it's just like it's not the same when you do that.
It's not. It's really not the same. You're right. Like, there's just, yeah, it was a beautiful energy, and I remember
Yeah.
Ryan like rolling through like 3 games, and I'm like, it's getting a little clutch, because I was actually getting worried that she won't finish, and they'll be like, you really have to leave. And I know Kevin Ainsworth is in there in the background, like, are you still not done this game? And like, just just all these little perfect moments, just made it such a special thing. Like, it was
Well,
so good.
especially like
So
at that point, they'd already packed up. Their stream was done. They were ready to leave when Amanda was like still doing that final boss fight. So yeah, nice. Also, shout out to the other moment that was special, which was playing Cheetah Men with JB and us trying to get past the first screen in Cheetah
Very
Men,
nice.
because that game is so hard that that him and I both were struggling. We just couldn't do it. We just couldn't get past the first screen in the first level of that game. It's so difficult. So yeah, shout out to that. That was a fun moment for us. But next up, we got Final Fantasy VIII is life. Final Fantasy VIII is love. Who says, "Good morning. It is I, Awesome Dave 1337. What was the best part of Extra Life, and why was it all the hugging and memories that were made along the way?" I mean, that was actually the best part, Awesome Dave. Not you talking about Final
100%.
Fantasy VIII. Definitely all the hugging and memories that were made along the way. Shout out to all that, Awesome Dave. Which, by the way, Awesome Dave, cool dude. I make fun of him all the time because of Final Fantasy VIII.
Love that guy.
But I like Awesome Dave a lot. I think he's a good dude. Just
Yeah,
I was
glad he
actually
able to make
impressed.
it.
I know I was very impressed because, obviously, if you're following Carpool Gaming content, Awesome Dave really likes Final Fantasy VIII and always asks questions about it. I wasn't sure if he'd I wasn't sure if he'd keep preaching it in person. I was wrong. He would keep preaching it, and no matter what hour it was, 3 a.m., 6 a.m., he'd just slide it in like Final Fantasy VIII, and I'd feel so stupid being like, how did I walk myself into the setup? Like I should have known that the question I'm asking him or the conversation I'm having is going to lead to him saying like, and why is it Final Fantasy VIII? And I was surprised every time, but you know what? Shout out to him. He's a very persistent man. Love that guy.
I love that the first thing Felia told us when she walked in the door was, "Oh my God, Awesome Dave keeps talking about Final Fantasy VIII." Because she told us that was like the first thing he was talking to her about as she got off the plane. I love it. That was so fun.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Drellesh, who asks, "Hello, PlayStation Drive gang. Who was your least favorite character at Extra Life when it comes to playing against competitively? Who did not deserve the extra life in the game of Fortnite?" This is an interesting question because I didn't play any games competitively. Oh, wait. No. I played games competitively against JB. That was the only person that I played games competitively against. And that was it. And I wrecked him at Pong. So, but he beat me at Dinosaur Tennis. So, I mean, we had fun, I guess. I don't know. I didn't have a least favorite person I played against competitively. Except, I guess the Nintendo Championship, where I just stomped everybody. There was that too. But Sean was my closest rival, I think, for that one. But what about y'all? Did you have a least favorite person you played against competitively? Who's your bitter rival that you played against competitively during this thing?
I'll say during Fortnite, I don't like the fact that you have to take down Snoop Dogg before he can be in your party.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight Snoop Dogg. He's like America's sweetheart right now. I don't want to fight this
True.
guy. I just want to hang out. So that was terrible. I didn't want to fight him.
Yeah. He is True Crime Streets of LA's Snoop Dogg. He's video game royalty at this point. So no one wants to fight him at this point. But how about you, Matt? Apparently, according to Yon32, it's Bob.
Is Bob from Elden Ring? Because that's my
I think
answer.
It's Bob from Elden Ring. Yeah.
Is that from? Yeah. Whoever is that giant ogre that just won't leave us alone. Like, just geez, let me just. Yeah, just leave us alone. And just trying to, explore the land and, kill some goats and stuff. Like, relax, dude. Just, as Fully would say, relax, Max, calm your farm, and just, let us explore. But kept showing up at very inopportune times and is getting a little bit much, Bob. So wasn't a fan of that. But I'm trying to think, like, competitively, only games I played was just Fall Guys, and everybody's very nice. Everybody's
Yeah.
nice. So that's about it. Yeah.
Also, my favorite thing, you just talked about Elden Ring for a second. I just want to stick on this for a second.
Yes.
My favorite thing about that Elden Ring thing was that I was reading the chat and Ron kept giving you all the advice as to what you were actually supposed to do. And I kept definitely convincing both you and Fulia that what Ron was telling you was actually wrong. And not to do
We
what
believed
he
you.
said.
Oh yeah,
and
we
you
believed
guys
you.
believed
Yeah.
me over him, and you totally went and did all the Ron stuff, and Ron kept
Oh, yeah.
telling you, no, go back. You're supposed to run up the hill, and I'm like, no, guys, he's trying to lead you astray. You're actually go over there. Just go over.
We had no idea who to listen to. I was like,
I
"Ah."
just loved kind of just twisting that. I think he got so mad that I was doing that too. Oh my god, I loved it.
We had no idea. I was like, I can't tell who's being honest or not. Like it's
Yeah.
who knows, but you know what?
Now
It was
you
fun.
understand.
I hope everybody enjoyed it.
I mean, I just displayed why I'm truly Carpool Gaming's most notorious villain.
Yep.
At that point, leading you astray in Elden Ring.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from one Yon32, who says, "When is the right time to start decorating for the holidays, and why is the answer November 1st? Also, do you have certain types of games that you enjoy playing over Christmas or New Year's? And why is the answer multiplayer community games with friends?" So first of all, let's start with question number one here, because I feel it's important to tackle this. When is the right time to start decorating for the holidays, and why is the answer November 1st? My answer to this question, Yon32, is I don't decorate for the holidays, so never. Never. There is no
Dang.
date that it's right to do that, because I say bah humbug to you all, and do not decorate for the holidays. But Bowser, you seem like you strike me as the type of person that probably actually decorates for holidays. So when's the best day to start decorating for the holidays?
Green Jeans does way more of the decorating, but I think he is aligned in the November 1st. I say do whatever your heart feels. I keep trying to get him
nice.
to put up the Halloween stuff way earlier, because in my mind, July 5th starts spooky season. So
Oh.
we could have Halloween stuff up all year and it wouldn't bother me. Whatever makes you happy. I want people to be happy in this world. So if decorating early makes you happy, you do that.
I like
Now,
the sound of that.
Logical answer also, if you're putting up outside stuff and you live in the northern part of the world, you better do it early November or you're going to
Yeah.
fall off your roof and break your neck. So the earlier the better.
That makes sense. I mean,
It's
you already
true.
walk into malls and they're already just blasting Christmas music already. So we're already there, folks.
I love it.
Just stay home.
I love it.
It's easier.
Yeah, we're less than 2 months away from the end of the year, folks, which is crazy to think.
Oh, okay. I don't like that. That I
No.
don't like. That's weird.
No, but Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with Yon 32. Just the earlier the better. The way I see it is the earlier you put it up, the longer you have it. Like I feel like it's a waste of time and effort if you put it up for like a week. It's like, well, then I gotta take it down because I'm one of the people that like once the holiday's over, I do like to take it down right away because otherwise it feels depressing. Like if I still have the Halloween decor up after Halloween, but I know I'm not gonna dress up with the kids, it's like, what's the purpose of the decorations up? Same thing with Christmas. If I have the tree up, but we're not doing the presents and the sweet hangs with family, what's the point of having the tree up? So I do like to take it down right away. So to make my time and effort worth it, I do put it up right away. So yeah, we got the trees all up, and like Bowser said, I am slacking in the outdoor department, which I do need to do because, like Bowser said, once it gets cold, it's dangerous, and if my lawn freezes, I can't stab anything into it to put stuff up. So I actually do have to do it sooner than later. So my Christmas stuff is up well in advance. Hope everybody likes it because I gotta do it for my safety because I like it. Makes me happy. And what was it? The question? Oh, what's the best game to play?
Yeah, what are the best games to play over the holidays? Before you get to that, real quick, FCO RMZ chimes in and says best games over Christmas for them are Spider-Man,
Yes.
Miles Morales, and the Division 1 because they both take place.
Good
on
answers.
Christmas. Yeah,
Good answer. Good answer. Miles Morales, Batman Arkham Origins, like those are, winter holiday games.
don't forget about Matt, the
playing-
most important Christmas game that you played earlier this year. Parasite Eve, which is also very much a Christmas.
Oh yeah, that is in the winter. You're right. I forgot about that.
It's not just the
That is
winter;
very
it
true.
takes place during Christmas. There's one of the one of the levels takes place on Christmas. There's Christmas decorations everywhere in that.
You're
game.
right.
Yeah.
That is very true. That is very true. So yeah, no, there's a few options, and you're on 32. You got some good suggestions there. Playing some multiplayer games with friends is a very good idea. I think I have to do that this winter break. I think I have to.
Okay. Bowser, what do you usually play on the winter break? Anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with the multiplayer stuff because even though people are busy doing family stuff, they also have more time off work usually. So, like, I have 2 weeks off straight over the holidays, so I have all the time in the world to do games together. So, here's hoping we keep this Extra Life community games momentum going through the holidays.
Nice. Well, I'm usually always working during the holidays. In fact, most years I work on Christmas. So, luckily, this is the first year I think in a while that I actually have Christmas off. So, which
nice.
Which is weird to me. But I don't have like a stretch in the holidays or anything like that off. Like I have Christmas and Boxing Day and Christmas Eve off. But everything else I'm working basically. So I don't have a ton of free time, although for the holidays it's really different. But for me, I'm an introvert. Everyone knows that. I don't like being around people all the time. So community games, I mean, sure, I'll hop in every once in a while, but that's usually not my primary thing over the holidays. My primary thing over the holidays, usually I just either I'm catching up on games that came out earlier this year that I missed, especially if our game of the year discussion happens a little bit later than usual. Or likewise, sometimes we usually do like shorter game of the year discussions on like our first podcast of the year, like games we played over the holidays. So I usually want to make sure I played some games from that year that I maybe missed out on. But a lot of times it's just retro games. That's usually when I play a lot of retro games, is actually over the holidays, because it almost feels like Christmas in 1993 all over again. Just hopping into Sonic 2 or Mega Man for the 10th time, or Super Metroid or something like that. Like that's the time where I like to play all my old games, making me feel like a kid again. So that's usually what I do over the holidays, is I usually play a lot of retro games and then clean up on some of the 2024 games that came out. So, and not only that, this year is extra important that I make sure to budget that holiday time wisely, because on January 1st, I have to play those 3 games that the wheel picks. So I need to play what I want to play before then, basically this year in particular, or else I'm going to get locked out of it at this point. I talked about that with Garrett yesterday on RPG Cave, where it's like, I was planning on playing like Dragon Quest 3 in January, but I'm like, I can't do that now. So I kind of have to play it now or over the holidays. So then I have it done for the beginning of next year, basically at this point. But Jan already piping in with the Call to the Wheel stuff. No, this is not a permanent thing.
Jan.
This is for the children. Okay. This is
for the kids.
For the children. Yeah.
That's right. It's for the kids.
And then last but not least, Kiku asks, what have you done with Ron, and how much do I have to pay to get him back? Well, I mean, Kiku, I don't know where Ron is, but hey, you got me instead, which I know clearly you like a lot. I can tell, Kiku, that you're just like, man, I'm glad Ryan's here. Even though a lot of times when I'm usually here, Kiku's usually like, thank God Ryan's gone this week. I love it.
Jesus.
So much. Yeah. No, of course, Kiku, I know, we got a good friendship going on in the Discord, but I know she does that all the time with love. But yeah, I don't know what's Ron. Ron's got stuff going on this week. We'll see him next week.
Oh,
yeah.
I know where Ron is.
Oh,
he's played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, isn't he?
No.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be funny. No, he insulted one too many of my favorite games. And look, Kiku, you'll never find the body.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
damn.
we thought Bowser was sweet and lovable.
Wasn't expecting that.
What happened?
Yeah, you thought Fee was the murderous one.
I mean, Kiku chimes in saying, 2 weeks without Ron, I'm dying over here. Rybo says, of course, this took a turn. It sure did, Rybo.
It sure did.
I was not expecting this when reading this question. So
I wasn't either.
Poor Ron. I mean, at least he was in the photo with us, Matt. We made sure to put Ron in the photo with us. So
that's right.
Oh, of course, Ron is here. He chimes in. She left me access to her PC, though. Amazing. Well, anyways,
Ron.
I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode of the PlayStation Drop. But before we go, We got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music. In fact, this fellow right here, the man behind the music on this show and the Xbox Drive. You can find the link tree to all of his music at linktr.ee/pme.jib. By the way, his music's really good. And this, of course, his new single, Forgotten, out right now. You can go listen to it over on Spotify or any other platforms you can find Purple Monkey Entertainment. Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes. And TechMike, who says, whether you're a Kevesi or a Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Yes, I get you every single time with that, Matt, and I love it. Links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of our podcast. Our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, Solo, the Captain, and Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Ligerwood 330, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Peje, Shane Erickson, TheDonRob, and the Jiggy Collector. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And Baza, once again, thanks for being our really special guest this evening. We really appreciate you hopping in on the show with us. Please let the people know where they can find you on the internet.
It was a pleasure to be here and join you for some sweet discussions about Extra Life. You can find me on the Xbox Drive weekly and on X, Blue Sky, Xbox, PlayStation, all those places at Bowser 13. And just come hang in Discord. That's where we're always at. That's where the fun stuff is.
Absolutely. Matt, where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me as Nagachaka on Twitter and in the Carpool Gaming Discord. Missing everybody from Extra Life. Extra Life 2025 is too far away, friends. This is rough. It hurts.
Yeah. Well, luckily, Bowser Green Jeans again likes to point out that Toronto is not very far away. So
it's not.
It is
not. Throwing it out there. Y'all can come say hello anytime you want to. Toronto is great. I mean, it's going to be winter soon, though. So
whatever. I like snow.
Cold. I mean, I like the snow too. Snow's great. As for me, you can always find me on the old Twitter, aka X. Oh, I hit my microphone. At Ryan Turford. You also find me, us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live, and of course, podcast services around the globe. So, for Bowser and Matt, I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive episode 174, and we're out. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.